Hi everybody, in today's video we're going to be building a command line file save. Okay, so this is going to be a kind of database where you can hide files inside of it. Okay, so you can see now if I run this script, python 3 save.py, that's the name of the file. If I say all, you can see I have this one file, that's this video file inside of my database. I can download it by saying -d, and I can say the name of the file, which is bit. I can enter the password. Okay, so my password is password, and you can see it is bit downloaded. If I check my file path right here, you can see we have this. Okay, so if we want to upload a file, all we need to do is say -u and then the file path, like that. Okay, so then the name of the file, so I think I have a file name practice.py. Okay, so you enter a password to upload the file. You can see practice upload complete. You can enter all. You can see you have practice.py and the v.mp4 now. Okay, so if you want to download the practice as well, you can just say -u and say -d, sorry, and then practice. Okay, so you can see if I make my file path right here, always top like this, and you see practice pop up right there. You can see, great. Okay, so what another functionality is, it also have like a manual. If you enter like something like this, save.py, it shows you this manual. If you enter something like this as well, it shows you the manual. Okay, okay, -u. Okay, now let's say remove file. We want to remove the practice file, and let's enter our password. Practice deleted, and if we say all, we shouldn't have that practice anymore. Okay, we can also remove the video. Okay, so the vid, enter a password, and we have it deleted. Okay, so now if we enter all, we should just see no entry. Okay, great. So this is what we are going to be building using Python and the sqlite module. Okay, so enjoy the tutorial, and yeah, let's jump into building. So first we're going to start with our import. So we get to import sqlite, so that sqlite 3, so that's the module for the database. We're going to import os, and we're going to import sys. Okay, so we're going to be needing them. So db equal to creating our database equal sqlite3.connect. So we want to connect to this database. So the name of the database is going to be save.db, and the core equal db.cursor. So we're going to be creating a cursor to execute command. Okay, so if the save.db doesn't exist, if the file doesn't exist, it is going to be created, and if it exists, it is going to connect to it, and we want to maybe read all the tables that are there. Okay, so we want to define a function for creating our table. So let's say create table, like that, and let's say our sql statement is going to be a multi-line string. Okay, I think it need one more column. Okay, so like that, okay, so create table, if not exists, and the name of the table save, like that. Okay, so whatever we're going to be passing into the this is going to be the columns. Okay, so this is going to be the name of the table save. If not exist is going to just be a condition to check if the table exists or not. If it exists, you don't need to recreate that table, just continue. Okay, so right here we're gonna start defining our columns. So name, the data type for the column is going to be, the name should be text, and it should be unique. Okay, so we want our extension, the data type should be var char, so we want to store character, and the maximum amount of character should be 5. Okay, so we want the file bin. So the binary data we read from the file. Okay, so it should be blob. So blob is used as the data type for storing binary data. And by the way, the commands are not case sensitive. You can put you can make it lowercase or uppercase, but I'm just using uppercase so that it look more good. Okay, so we can say call that execute and statement. Okay, so want to execute that statement, so now we can just call our create table function, run that script, and everything should work fine. If you check your path, you should see that's your working directory. You should see the save.db, and if you have the SQLite DB browser, you can open up this database. Okay, so let's open it up. Okay, you can see we have browse data right here. You can see these columns. These are the columns name, exe, and file bin. You can see we only have one table, that's the save table, and this is the schema for our table, create table, save, and all of that. Okay, so you can see columns that we have in our table. Okay, great. So now that we have our table, we can define our upload file function. Upload file function. Okay, so to upload file, we're going to need a file path. Okay, so we want to say if not os.path.exist, and the path we want to check if it exists is going to be the path that is passed. So if it doesn't exist, we want to just print to the user no such file, and want to return. Okay, so if it exists, of course we're going to continue. So I want to grab the file name, comma the exe of that file, that's the extension, equal os.path.split ext of this os.path dot base name, that's the file name, base name of that path, so that's the target file for that path. Okay, so we're just expanding the tuple that is going to be returned by the split ext function. Okay, so then we're going to read the content of this file, and of course we're going to create our SQL statement. So now let's create our statement first. Okay, so the statement is going to be insert. So we're going to be inserting into the name of the file. Okay, so the name of our table, sorry, the table. So insert into the table, save. The column we want to insert to is going to be the name column, the ext column, and the file bin column. Okay, so the values is going to be, for now we're going to be putting this placeholder. Okay, so the question mark as a placeholder for the values. Okay, so we're going to be replacing them in the execute command, or in the execute function, as part of the argument. Okay, so right here, let's say file equal open of this path in a reading binary mode. Okay, so let's then say core dot execute this statement. Okay, and then we're going to replace all those placeholders, so with the file name, with the ext, and the file bin file dot read. Okay, so the data we're going to be reading from this file, and then we're going to say file dot close, and we can return, we can say db dot commit. Okay, so we have to commit to that database. It's just like saying save whenever you write a text to your text editor, and then we can then say return file name. Okay, so this one is going to be for future use. Okay, so let's try to upload a file now to our database. Okay, so let's say upload file. Okay, let's pass a file path to this. Okay, so now let me grab some files right here. Okay, let me grab this cloud.png image. Okay, let's open up its properties so that I can copy the full path. Okay, so let's copy this, and the name is cloud.png. So let's say paste this right here, and then cloud.png. Okay, let's run. Okay, it's finished running without any errors. Good sign, I like it. Okay, so now let's check our database again. So let's see what we have inside our database. You can see now we have an entry. Okay, you can see cloud, that's the name. The extension is .png, and the file bin is a blob data. You can see current type of data currently installed is a png image. Okay, so yeah, and everything, we have a new record. We can now create our download file function. That's the function that's going to be responsible for getting these files out of our database. Okay, so for recreating these files, okay, so let's define a download file function. Okay, so download file, to download a file, we're going to need its name, of course, and we want to say our statement is going to be select name, so the name column, the ext column, and the file bin column from the name of the table. Okay, so the name of the table save, that's from save, where, so where is going to be the condition name, so where the name column is equal the name we're going to be passing to it. Okay, so since these are all the columns in the table, we can just say select everything, so with an asterisk to select everything, that select all the columns. Okay, so we can now we're going to collect the items that is going to be returned from the execute statement. So you can say coded execute statement, and we're going to pass the name with a comma, of course, to indicate that it's a double. Okay, so if not, sorry, so first we're going to iterate over all these items. File, let's say data equal I for I in items. Okay, so now we can say if not file data, then want to print no such file to the user, and want to say return. Okay, so we're breaking out of that function, we don't want to continue. Otherwise we want to say file data equal this file data index of 0. Okay, okay, so the reason is, you can see right here, this why I'm just grabbing the index of 0 is, you can see I have this outer list right here that I have actually created, so we're just grabbing the index of 0. Okay, so to get rid of that. Okay, so now we can say file name equal file data index of 0. Okay, so it is going to be the same sequence as this, so this is going to be written as index of 0, index of 1, and the binary data, because it's going to be returning a tuple. So I might show you the example. Okay, so maybe in the next function that we're going to create. Okay, so now ext is going to be file data index of 1, and the bin data, so that's the binary data, is going to be file data index of 2. Okay, so now we can say with open this file name plus its extension. Okay, so ext. Okay, so we're making that file in a writing binary mode as f, and we can then say f the write, want to write the bin data inside of it. Okay, great. Okay, so now we can return true. Okay, so why we are returning true, so that yeah, we can know the file is downloaded, because this if the file is not there, we are returning false right here. Okay, so yeah, then let's try to download a file now. So now let's call the download file function, and the name of the file is cloud. Okay, so that's the cloud that we uploaded right here. Okay, so now let's call this. Okay, it's finished running, and let's check out our file path. Oh wow, we have the cloud png. Okay, so which is the same cloud png right here that I grabbed from my asset folder. Okay, you can see it right here. Okay, great. So now let's create our delete file function first, or let's create our all files function. Let's create the delete file function. So let's say the final function delete file. Okay, to delete a file, we're going to need its name. Okay, so we can say our statement equal delete from. Okay, we don't need to pass any column right here. Okay, so just delete from the save table, and where the name is equal this placeholder right here, we're gonna replace that core.execute the statement with passing the name and then a comma. Okay, so since it is only one item in the tuple, we need to pass a comma so that it is going to be a tuple, not just a stuff that has inside a parenthesis. Okay, so now we can commit to our database, and let's call the delete file function to delete this cloud. Okay, so let's try it out. Okay, so now let's run. Okay, it worked without any errors. We can open up our database again right here, and let's browse data, and you can see we don't have that entry anymore. Okay, so let's try to download it. Okay, when it doesn't exist, let's see the message we're going to get. You can see no such file. Okay, so now let's upload it again right here. Run. Okay, now we have it inside our database. Okay, so now let's create our all files function or files function, and we're going to need nothing because we want to be returning all the files. We don't need any condition, so select everything, all the columns from the save table. Okay, so without any kind of logic. Okay, so items equal core.execute statement. Okay, so then we can say file data. Sorry, we're not supposed to collect everything. We only need the file name and the extension. So select name ext. Okay, so file data equal I for I in range. Sorry, in range in items. Okay, so now for now let's print file data and see. Okay, let's run. Sorry, we should call that function all files. Okay, all files, and let's run. You can see cloud and .png right here. Let's upload another file. I think I have some files from my assets folder. Okay, so let's see which file again. Let's upload this archive.zip file and this main.spec file. Okay, so now let's do this, and this archive.zip. Okay, now you can see we have archive.zip as well. Let's upload the main.spec from my assets folder. Okay, so you can see now we have main.spec as well. Okay, so now let's just comment this out. We have 3 files uploaded to our database already. Okay, so now let's say let's reverse these items. Okay, so that it is going to be from the latest file that you uploaded to your database. Okay, so let's say print file data index of this column and -1. Okay, so you're going to see they're going to be in a reverse order. So let me call that function, and you can see. Okay, so you can see main the spec, then the archive, then the cloud. Okay, so we're going to be doing that to reverse it. Okay, so file data is going to be the file data in a reverse order. Okay, so now we can then just say for file file in file data. Okay, so print file name equal file index of 1 index of 0, that's the file name, plus the file index of 1. Okay, so we can just say print file name. We can just say, we can as well say let's say formatted string. Okay, wrapping this up like this, file name, and let's say print file data dot index of the file. Okay, then dot right here. Okay, so now let's try this out. You can see 0 1 2. Okay, you can see 0 main.spec, archive, and zip. Sorry, archive right here and cloud. Okay, good. Okay, so now we have our all files function. Okay, so now that we have all of these functions, all we need to have now is our handle function that is going to handle all of these functions from the command line instead of doing it from the actual code itself. Okay, so let's say our handle function, define our handle function. Okay, for now we're going to pass actually. Okay, so we're going to need your password because I said we're going to be needing password to do this. Okay, so for now we're going to be just putting the password as a variable. We can later build on it by creating the password as an entry for into the database. Okay, and let's say define our enter password function, enter password like that, and then want to say password equal input the password, and if the password you input is equal the password, your password, then want to, for now we're going to just return true, and then else we want to print incorrect password, incorrect password, and then we're going to return false. We don't even need to return anything. Okay, but let's just return false. Okay, so now we're going to say if the length of sys.arg, okay, so that system argument is greater than 2. Okay, so for this demo, for now, let's kind of show you what sys.arg means if you don't know it. Okay, so we're going to print the sys.arg index of 1, sys.arg index of 2. Okay, okay, so we can actually do this thing with the argparse module, I think, but I don't know how to use it. Okay, so save.py. Okay, so you can see right now in from my command line, this one is the argument index of 0. The next thing I pass to it, okay, is going to be the index of 1, and this one is going to be index of 2. Okay, so if we call this handle function right now, we should get this. Okay, you can see it's point 1 and 2, which is this argument 1 and 2. Okay, so now we can see we can use all those values to create our logic. So if enter password, okay, so if the arguments are greater than 2, then we need you to enter your password. Okay, then we can say if the for now let's say pass, and if there is no password you want to return. Okay, we want to return like that, and want to then tell you that if sys.arg index of 1 equal dash u, which means upload. Okay, so we want to say file path equal sys.arg index of 2. Okay, that's the next argument after you enter dash u. Okay, so then we want to say file name equal upload file, and that's file path. Okay, then we want to say if file name, then want to print file file name upload complete. Okay, oh, we can add a d completed. Okay, great. So now we can then create our next logic. If sys.arg index of 1 is equal dash d, then want to say file name equal, that's you want to download this file. The file name is going to be sys.arg index of 2, and we want to say down file equal download file of that file name. So if file, you want to print file downloaded. Okay, so a formatted string. We want to say file name downloaded. Okay, then we want to return. No matter what, we're going to return. I think here as well we want to return. Okay, we're gonna just break out of that function. Okay, here is supposed to be an else if, so elif. Okay, so elif it is sys.arg index of 1 equal dash u dash r, that's for removing a file. I want to say the file name that I want to remove is going to be sys.arg index of 2. Okay, and then I want to say file name, the file equal download file delete file, and that's going to be the file that you want to delete, file name. And then we want to say if file, then print formatted string with file name deleted. Okay, so you want to return. Okay, so I think in the delete file we didn't return anything, so we want to return true if the file was deleted successfully. Okay, else no such file. Okay, so probably it is going to be an error with this one. Okay, so let's see what the error is going to actually look like. Delete file, it didn't return anything. Okay, so else it is going to be no such file, else no, let's not add the else block. Okay, so then now that we have our function up to this place, okay, so now we want our else if for this if outer if statement. So else if the length of the sys.arg is equal to exactly, and sys.arg index of 1 is equal all. Okay, so I think that's it. Okay, then we want to say all files, want to call the all files function, and want to return. Okay, so if any of these didn't actually break out of this function, then want to print to the user the manual for this. So we're gonna print save.py. Want to print to him that /t, okay, a tab, so just using a tab. File name, file path to upload a file. Okay, so you can copy that, paste. File name to download a file, dash file name dash d file name to download a file, download a file. Okay, so we can paste this as well. To delete a file, and we need the file name, and the command is going to be dash r. Okay, so print. Okay, so dash t all, we can use like this to show all files. Okay, so I think this is good. Let's try out the handle function from our command line now. Okay, so now let's say python 3.1. You can see we get this manual. Okay, so let's try all. You can see we have this 0 main.spec file, archive the zip file right here. Okay, so now let's try to download a file. Let's first see if we have any of the files right here. We have this cloud png. Okay, we don't have the archive yet. We haven't tried to download it yet. Okay, so let's say -d archive. Okay, so we need our password. Now you can see archive downloaded. Let's check our path. You can see archive.zip right here. Okay, and the zip file is definitely not affected. You can see right here in my SQLite, that's my working directory. I have the archive.zip. Okay, so which one? Let's download the main.spec dash d main. Okay, the name of the file is main. Enter password, main downloaded, and in my path I have main.spec right here. Okay, great. So now let's try the remove. So dash r, let's remove this main file. Okay, main deleted. Let's see all, and you really have the archive right here. Okay, great. Okay, so now let's remove the archive as well. Okay, enter a password, and archive deleted. We enter all, we don't have any entry. Okay, so in the all files you're supposed to return no entry. Okay, so in the all files, if not file data, then you want to print no entry like that, and you want to return. Okay, so now let's try it again. All, no entry. Great. Okay, so I think it is now complete. Let's see, uploading file dash u. Okay, let's try to upload another file from our archive. Okay, so let's copy this path for this one. Okay, so from my asset folder, I'm going to paste the path right here, and dash, and then slash david.mp4. I think that's the name of the file. Okay, enter a password. Okay, vid upload complete, and now if we say all, we should have vid.mp4 inside that, and we can also download it, dash d vid. Okay, enter a password, and vid downloaded, and in our file path right here you can see vid. Okay, great. Our project is pretty much complete, and yeah, you can enjoy this. Okay, so maybe later we can build a GUI for this, but for now let's keep it as a command line password file save. Okay, you can hide files in there, and nobody's going to know that the files are there. And what you can do again is you can actually just add dot in the name of this file, the database, so that it is going to be a hidden file in your computer. Okay, so but let's just keep it this way for now. You can modify it anytime you want. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.